Still, European power. So you either, have the black and red, or the black and
Coconut Grove, Miami's oldest neighborhood, is a vibrant community defined by lush tropical landscapes, coastal charm, and a cultural legacy that runs deep. Established in the 19th century, it became a haven for Bahamian immigrants whose music, food, and craftsmanship infused the grove with an unmistakable Caribbean flavor that endures to this day. Yet, as one of Miami's most desirable locations, Coconut Grove's evolution has come with significant challenges. The community now grapples with gentrification, rising property values, and shifting demographics, struggling to balance modernization with its storied past. Despite these pressures, the spirit of resilience among Coconut Grove residents remains, reflecting a profound commitment to preserving their heritage even amidst continuous transformation. From Bahamian immigrants who first built this community to the cultural legacy that remains today, the story of Coconut Grove is a tale of identity, struggle, and survival. Our time filming and conducting interviews in Coconut Grove was an eye-opening journey, revealing a deeper understanding of the neighborhood's rich history, cultural resilience, and the relentless challenges it faces. To truly understand what is at stake, we need to go back where it all began. Coconut Grove's history stretches back over 10,000 years to the Tequesta people, the original guardians of the land. By the late 1800s, Bahamian immigrants arrived, bringing not just their labor, but a deep-rooted culture and unwavering resilience.
In the 1880s, Charles Peacock, a white man from the Bahamas, established the Peacock Inn in Coconut Grove, and it attracted rich white people from the north who would come down. And in order to staff that hotel, Charles Peacock brought black people from the Bahamas. The first one being Mariah Brown, whose home he built for her, which still stands on Charles Avenue. And then a very sizable black community to serve the white community primarily, and expanding and building their properties, including Vizcaya later on. E.W.F. Stirrup was a black man who migrated to this area from the Bahamas, probably arriving around 1900, worked his way up through the Keys. He was a carpenter and started buying lots and then building homes, these so-called shotgun homes, on these lots in Coconut Grove and renting them to blacks who came in after he arrived.
Charlotte Jane Memorial Park Cemetery stands as a solemn testament to the deep roots of Coconut Grove's Black and Bahamian community. Established in the early 1900s, it provided a dignified resting place for the neighborhood's early black residents, many of whom were Bahamian immigrants who helped build this community from the ground up. Named after Charlotte Jane, daughter of influential landowner E.W. Stirrup, the cemetery embodies resilience and the spirit of those who laid the foundation of West Grove. Despite facing periods of neglect, this sacred ground has endured as a cherished symbol of continuity, where descendants come to honor their ancestors' unwavering contributions. Today, Charlotte Jane Memorial Park serves as a reminder of the Grove's cultural heritage and the legacies of those who, against all odds, shaped the identity of this historic neighborhood. As we leave the solemn grounds of Charlotte Jane Memorial Cemetery, where the stories of early pioneers are etched in stone, lies a narrative woven to the very structure of Coconut Grove.
Over the course of the years, the community, which was basically Bahamian, built Christ Episcopal Church, has always been painted pink, like the church in Nassau by the same name.
Stepping deeper into the heart of Coconut Grove, we find that the community's resilience was not only built through homes and streets, but also through sanctuaries of faith. Macedonia Baptist Church and Christ Episcopal Church stand as enduring symbols of that spirit. Founded by early Bahamian settlers, these churches were much more than places of worship, they were lifelines. They offered solace, strength, and a sense of belonging through generations marked by struggle and perseverance. For black residents, these churches became sanctuaries where familiar traditions were kept alive, carrying forward the legacy of resilience embedded in Coconut Grove's past. A new chapter of advocacy is being written by organizations like CFJ Community Partner Grace. Grove rights, and community equity. Emerging as a vital force in the fight for social and economic justice, Grace has dedicated itself to addressing the challenges faced by longtime residents, championing causes like affordable housing, environmental justice, and the preservation of Grove's cultural identity. At the forefront of these efforts is Carolyn Donaldson, whose tireless commitment has made her a leading voice for the community. Through her work, she has mobilized residents, amplified her concerns, fought for policies that safeguard against the relentless pressures of gentrification and displacement.
I grew up right across the street from Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church as a young child. So it just seemed to be a natural transition for me to return back to Macedonia and start doing things here. And then all throughout my career, I did advocacy work. So I started focusing my attention on the Grove and how I could come back and help the community. That was my foundation.
From that foundation along Charles Avenue, early settlers carved out a community that thrived against the odds, building homes, churches, and businesses that would shape the fabric of Coconut Grove. This street, once known as Evangelist Street, became the backbone of a growing Bahamian enclave where resilience flourished. The legacy of these pioneers is woven into every corner of Charles Avenue, a testament to the distinct cultural and racial dynamic that continues to inspire despite the pressures of change and modern challenges. In 1925, Coconut Grove was annexed by the city of Miami. This moment marked a turning point, transforming a once close-knit community into one divided by race and economics. What had been a relatively cordial relationship between the black and white residents began to fray, creating lasting divisions between the East and West Coconut Grove. With the annexation, new policies and practices began to favor East Grove, leaving West Grove underserved and under-resourced. Over time, these disparities widened, creating a clear economic and racial divide.
Coconut Grove the whites and blacks had a closer relationship than what we saw evolving later with people owned land, white folks owned land in Liberty City and Overtown.
As divisions in Coconut Grove grew deeper, physical barriers began to appear, most notably the Coconut Grove Wall. Constructed in the 1940s, this wall was more than just a line of concrete. It stood as a stark symbol of an enforced segregation and racial tension. Erected in response to white residents' resistance to integrated housing, it cemented the divide between black and white communities. In the heart of Coconut Grove for almost 50 years, an incinerator known as Old Smokey operated. Established in 1926 and operational until 1970, this facility became a source of continuous environmental harm. Clouds of ash, laced with lead, arsenic, and dioxin settled over homes, parks, and schools, exposing residents primarily from black and marginalized communities to dangerous pollutants. These contaminants have been linked to respiratory issues, cardiovascular diseases, and even cancer. The environmental scars left behind remain evident, with contaminated soil and water still posing risks. The story of Old Smokey is a stark reminder of the disproportionate burden communities of color face from industrial pollution and injustice that continues to shape Coconut Grove's legacy.
So Old Smokey is where the Fire College is today. I lived at 3899 Charles Terrace, which I could walk out the backyard to the base of Old Smokey. So growing up with Old Smokey, other than the fact that the smoke blew over the neighborhood and we saw the ash settle on everything, including us, we, as kids, didn't know the implications of Old Smokey.
In 1972, I worked at Francis Tucker Elementary School in Coconut Grove and also at Carver Middle School, right by that smokestack. You know, at this very moment, I can recall how it tasted, the smoke sitting there examining kids, and you would inhale the soot from that incinerator.
It wasn't until later years and the city have some level of responsibility, complete responsibility, because they knew what this ash was doing and the kinds of illnesses that it caused. But as a kid, we just knew, Old Smokey, because when it would start burning, the smell. So that's what really we remember is the result of the smell.
Yes, you could not work a day at Tucker Elementary School or Carver Middle School or Elementary School without coughing and knowing that there was something wrong. There was not the scientific evidence to support that. You just knew that there was a constant smell that should not have been there, especially with little babies or kids in school breathing that. Black communities have always been the places to dump garbage. They still are.
Despite the overwhelming evidence of harm, the city of Miami has resisted taking responsibility for Old Smokey's impact. In 2017, a group of residents filed a lawsuit against the city, seeking justice for the damage caused by decades of toxic exposure.
Understanding of that, and individuals started to come together and decided to file the class action lawsuit. It was then with sitting down and having conversations with other people that you realize, oh, that's what your relative died from? No, that's what my sister or brother or cousin, So then you start to realize a disproportionate number of people died from the same illnesses. They tried to get the case kicked out. And it wasn't until 2022 and ruled against the city to say that we would move forward with the litigation. So up until 2022, all these years, up until 2022, they were still trying to get the case kicked out.
In West Coconut Grove, the story of gentrification is unfolding rapidly. What was once a neighborhood defined by its tight-knit, multi-generational Black community is now at risk of being reshaped beyond recognition. Rising property values, luxury developments, and short-term rentals like Airbnbs have taken root. Walking through the streets, we witnessed a striking shift. Construction sites in place of historic homes, farmers markets tailored for new affluent residents, and signs of commodification in the heart of a neighborhood built on resilience, as developers push to dismantle the very essence of what made this place a community.
Yes, because I'm 67 years old and I've been in Grove all my life. They're tearing down everything, telling people they're tearing it down. I'm not talking about the homeowners. They're tearing it down to make affordable places for us. When you turn around, they be high-rise. They're running us at Coconut Grove.
Their houses have changed. The community has changed. There's no family-oriented too much here anymore because there are no homes. The affordable housing is gone. The apartments are gone off of Grand Avenue, off of Douglas Road. When they're building to another culture, another establishment, because I can't pay $2,300 for rent. Next door is about $3,000 for rent. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, has no amenities.
I've heard a lot of stories, and I've also seen a lot of change. Perfect example, gentrification. This is like a really big thing here. Literally right next door, right? That used to be an empty lot. Anyways, that lot used to be empty. Like my whole life, you would sit in the living room and look out the window. It was like this beautiful garden. Peacocks would come hang out in there. You could see some like apples and stuff. It was full of flowers and like coconut trees. Now you look out the living room window and you just see the wall instead of that beautiful view we used to have. And you can see it all around. I mean, maybe up until like 30 years ago or so, it was all Black community.
In Coconut Grove, the fight isn't just about keeping homes and resisting development. It's about protecting the very soul of a community. Preserving cultural identity is not just about remembering the past, it's about holding on to what makes this place unique. While exploring Coconut Grove, we came across the Taste of Cocoa Bahamas Market. This market was created as a celebration of the Bahamian roots that shaped this community. It stands as a space where the spirit of Old Grove thrives, even as the surrounding landscape changes. Here we met Anthony Witherspoon, who shared his vision of preserving this heritage and keeping the essence of Coconut Grove alive.
What I'm trying to do with this property is provide an outdoor entertainment restaurant venue that will capture the heritage legacy. So I sell barbecue, Bahamian food. This gentleman here has a band. They're playing tonight. Next week we got a rock band that's coming in that rent the venue out. So if we can, or if I can, this would be hopefully a legacy that we can leave here where people can come and experience a true Bahamian experience.
As a means of protecting that legacy and safeguarding the Coconut Grove's history, certain sites in the city have been designated as historical landmarks. This recognition helps protect those places from redevelopment and ensures that future generations remember what made this community special. They remind us of the stories and struggles embedded into the community's foundation, ensuring that the future generation can recognize and honor what made this place truly unique.
My hopes is for Coconut Grove to become Coconut Grove again. That everybody can come together and the prices can go lower than what they are, because people here that are on a fixed income, the people that worked all their life, they can't afford to be here. Soon they will be ushered out.
I put a big question mark on where we're headed from the standpoint of the future. You live long enough and you see a lot, and I've seen a lot. So certainly it is a reason for me to pause and reflect on life and life changes.
Our time filming and conducting interviews in Coconut Grove was an eye-opening experience, revealing a deeper understanding of the neighborhood's rich history, cultural resilience, and the relentless challenges it faces. As we moved between historic sites, engaged with residents, and captured the essence of the community, a more vivid picture emerged. A place layered with Bahamian roots, proud traditions, and the strains of gentrification and preservation struggles. Each conversation we shared highlighted the pride residents hold in their heritage and their unwavering determination to safeguard it amidst rapid change. This project has not only brought us closer to the distinct story of Coconut Grove, but has underscored universal themes of community, legacy, and resistance. We leave the Grove with a deep respect for its people and a responsibility to amplify their voices with authenticity and care.